Entrepreneurship is the process of designing, launching, and running a new business, which is often initially a small business. That's according to Wikipedia. And an entrepreneur has been defined as a person who starts, organizes, and manages any business, usually with considerable initiative and a risk. That as well is according to Wikipedia. According to many, entrepreneurship is becoming your own boss and making lots of cash. But it isn't as easy as a blink of an eye. And that assumption forces many to start up their business that actually go wrong. So where is the loophole? We will find out in just a bit in today's interview segment. A good afternoon to you and welcome to Business Insight. My name is Nina Shaban. So first, let's take a look at the business stories making headlines. The Kenya Airways company woes continue as more disputes unfold. Recently, the company has been stopped from replacing 131 technical workers accused of participating in an illegal strike. Hand in hand with that, the company's employees based in Nigeria issued a strike notice that began today. Here's a report of more on that story.
It is a time when the KQ is trying to make it back on its feet after years of big losses. However, the misery on its operation is up again to drag it down. This round, the carrier is facing serious labor problems. More than 130 technical employees who allegedly participated in an illegal industrial action were laid off. The struggles to replace the fired workers in order to continue with the technical operations has failed after the Employment and Labor Relations Court Judge Helen Wasilwa suspended the action until a case that the workers has filed is heard and determined. In an urgent application that was filed by the staff lawyer Dismas Wambola, the embattled workers claimed that they were not given an opportunity to be heard prior to the dismissals. The case will be heard on December 18th this year. The situation is taking the same course in Nigeria as the company's workers in the country are planning to break into an industrial action too. The strike notice has already taken effect from today, demanding salary increase and benefits that were provided in a collective bargaining agreement signed in 2015. The disputes have come at a time that the company has made good progress in reducing the amount of losses it has incurred in its ugly past.
All right. Now, as I had mentioned earlier on, we will be discussing matters entrepreneurship according to professionals and those who have had experience in the world of business. So joining me is Jimmy Tune, quite a successful entrepreneur, and Jeremiah Kambi, who is the CEO of Education, not E, but AID, Education International Kenya, that deals with helping students start their own businesses. And he's currently running an entrepreneur workshop, attracting guests from Germany, South Africa, China, Switzerland, and many other countries. Welcome to Business Insight on Ebru TV. Thank you very much for making the time.
Thank you so much.
All right. Just getting straight into it, what is entrepreneurship according to you? Because in all, especially young people, we have this mind that entrepreneurship is all about becoming your own boss and making lots and lots of money. And we end up being disappointed most of the time. So maybe you can take us through.
Entrepreneurship, in my understanding, is a way of trying to find solutions to problems that are bedeviling either your local area, it could be your county, could be a national level or an international level. It's not just about making a lot of money, but rather the impact that comes from the activities, from the solutions that you provide for the challenges that you see.
All right, Jimmy, I understand you're an entrepreneur and you're doing quite well. Maybe highlight for us what type of business you do for the sake of our viewers. And why did you decide to delve into entrepreneurship instead of being employed?
Yeah, so for me, I'm in the courier business, whereby we handle a portfolio of deliveries. We came to realize that there is deliveries within cities, within countries, that is working very well. But when you come to the local cities like Mombasa and Nairobi, there is no really defined system of handling these local deliveries. So this is why we came up with a reliable professional delivery service, whereby we handle different kind of clients in terms of daily food deliveries in offices. These are part of corporates, or maybe just personal errands you would like to run in the estates, including maybe small issues like your laundry to be taken to the laundry shops and back. So we are working with corporates and individuals to make sure that we handle local deliveries efficiently. And I would like to say that we are doing this in a most unique way, because we are using our delivery means is electric bicycles. So we are also advocating for environmental conservation, and this is part of what is pushing us as a young people to solve this problem.
All right. And Jeremiah, you are the CEO of Education International Kenya. So I want you to explain to us what Education International Kenya is, and how did you two get together?
Thank you very much. So, as a last born in my family,
wow,
I went to a very local school in deep parts of Kilifi County called Morandinda. And I used to go to school without shoes, with a broken shorts. That didn't hamper me from doing well. But when I finished my primary school, there was no way of going to secondary school. My secondary school was only made possible by benevolent people, some from Rotary Club, some from Lions, and individuals who made it possible for me to join secondary school. I must say, even my first time to put on a leather shoe was when I was joining Form 1. Quite a nice experience. I was called to go to Kilifi Township, but because of school fees, I had to go to Ganze Secondary School, where my brother-in-law, Mr. Iha, was the deputy headmaster, and kind of that leveraged on the time that I would stay in school, even if I didn't have school fees. Fast forward to a time now I had finished my college in clinical medicine at KMTC, and had already worked for 3 years. I had to look back into the times and think about the young potential, the young high potential but needy students who fall away and are not able to achieve their dreams, just like me those days. The idea came of trying to find a solution when I still wanted to go to university. I had to raise a lot of money. So instead of me having to stop working and raise the money for my degree, I decided to look back to those that were like me many years ago. And that's why the idea of education came in, to find a solution to enable the transition to secondary school for the bright and needy, enjoyable, affordable, and possible.
All right.
And that's how education came in. So education is just two words combined, aid, education.
Yes.
So we give scholarships to bright, needy students across the country, but we don't stop at aid education. We also do education to aid, and that's the mentoring part.
All right.
How I came to meet Jimmy, so we come from the same township of Watamu in Kilifi County. As I was doing my work at Malindi Hospital, I started this program, and Jimmy is among the first people from Watamu to make it above the threshold that we take. So we enroll only those that meet a criteria of 350 marks and above.
Okay.
So Jimmy, from a very local school in Watamu, and you know Watamu people are tied with so many things, he's one of the young men who convinced us after garnering above 350, and he came to apply for the scholarship.
So did you mentor him all the way through to the point of him starting his own business?
Yes. So after a while, we started getting our first graduates. And we didn't know what will happen after the 4 years of secondary school. But we realized immediately, after the 4 years, they do not have a clear transition to university as well. At that time, there was 2-year waiting period, but you could see some of them trying to do some small things on their own, and some going to Coastal Computer, some little training here and there. So together with my co-founder, Florian Kapita, who is also with us in Nairobi, we thought about why don't we do something to these young minds? I think they can learn business. And that's why the idea of mentoring them to start their own business came in.
All right. Now, I do understand that you're also partnering with international governments or other companies from Switzerland. How do they come in?
So Florian Kapita, Dr. Florian Kapita is a German living in Switzerland.
All right.
So we coincidentally met along Nairobi, the Malindi, Mombasa, Nairobi highway at the middle of the night. So at that time, they had come to Kenya just to see the country. And I was coming to Nairobi for a business meeting. In Mtito one day, we alighted for the normal break, and they went for a soda. They went for a Coke. And immediately, when they were told the price, I think they thought they were being ripped off, so they declined to take the Coke. I went to buy the Coke for them, and I insisted to them to take it. Even though they were declining at first, I told them, go back, get another one. Maybe this is last with drugs. So they believed in, okay, let's take the Coke. So that's the coincidental meeting with Dr. Florian, who lives in Switzerland. And our partnership started growing slowly until we found Education International. The companies that are based in Switzerland actually working with us because of his effort, together with the current CEO of Switzerland, CEO Matthias Meyer.
Okay. Now, you now are running a particular workshop. How many days does it run for, and what does it involve?
So this workshop is a 5 days workshop. We are bringing one of the only partner actually in this program of inspiring young entrepreneurs, which is Swiss Re. They have sent their chief financial officer to Kenya, Gerhard Lohmann, and it's a continuation of the Startup Academy. Those that come up with ideas after the Startup Academy are here today to present their challenges to real financial experts, to real business consultants, so that they can get guidance on how to manage the volatility of the market, how to scale up their business, how to be able to deal with failures. So Jimmy is among those entrepreneurs who, first of all, came to a 5-day Startup Academy. Then after running their program for 1 year, is it 1 year or 2 years?
It's now 2.5.
It's now 2.5.
Okay.
Then they have come back to another senior academy where they are now being mentored on how to deal with real business.
Okay, now to you, Jimmy. What exactly do you expect to gain from this workshop?
So this workshop is all about looking back, where we've come from, the journeys we've had, the mistakes we've had to come through, and the challenges. And then, but most importantly, to look ahead, you know, in the next at least 5 years, because we are launching in Nairobi from January 2018. So this workshop provides kind of a really intensive and insightful week for us, because we have the experts from Swiss Re who are helping us, you know, coming up with practical projections and even how to approach the market and how to place ourselves in a position to be successful. So we have a team that is already part of the academy as well, which was invited to come. So as we plan, this is a week of having a blueprint, which we are going to execute from next month.
All right. And since you started your business, just give us a small picture of how the journey has been.
Well, so the journey has been interesting, and I would say it's not easy. Sometimes you feel like, man, maybe I should be employed somewhere getting some salaries. But I think I would love to say that it's because of a passion and, you know, clientele that, you know, are happy on the service that we give them. So having started, because the company came from when I was in campus, and as you know, in campus, there are times you feel that you have no classes and there's a lot of free time. So it is during through this time that I decided to volunteer for one of the organizations in Mombasa, because on campus in Mombasa. And then as I was volunteering, we were organizing one big event, which happened that we had to send very many letters to various stakeholders. And we did like 400 letters which were to go. And as everybody is aware, these letters usually are taken by the office messenger department, who is supposed to deliver to the various people we are inviting. But then, to our shock, we came to realize that 3 weeks to the event, we are not getting, you know, relevant responses. And it was worrying, because it was going to be a very big event. And we had booked a hotel, whereby when the guests will come, they would pay the entrance fee, so the organization won't have catered for these fees to conduct the event. But unfortunately, when we did our brief research, we realized that the messenger service used third parties instead of them doing the direct deliveries. So to cut the long story short, we had a very poorly attended event, and we had to foot the bills. And so when we came back to the office, I started thinking to myself, like, all right, what if we had really a reliable professional system that could just, you know, this is our work. Bring these deliveries, we deliver them. You have a successful event, we create employment.
All right.
Yeah, so that's how we came.
It's quite an inspiring story, which is funny because if you go through so many successful business people, or if you read the different books when it comes to entrepreneurship, most entrepreneurs, most successful businesses always come in because of the mistakes that are made. And when you see a mistake, you see a loophole, and when you see a loophole, you fix the problem. And that brings me back to how you started describing what entrepreneurship is. It's entrepreneurship is not about making lots of money. I'd like you to repeat, as we shut down the segment, my director says we need to go. I'd like you to kindly repeat what you said. Entrepreneurship is not about making cash, it's about?
It's about providing solution to real challenges.
All right. Right there, I'm so sorry our interview was quite short, but it was very insightful and interesting and inspiring. I do thank you very much for making time to come to Ebru TV for our Business Insight. I will be catching up with them more and more. So that's it for Business Insight this afternoon. My name is Nina Shaban. Please do have a lovely afternoon. I'll be seeing you later on at 9 p.m. for more business news.